About 3 years ago, my apartment got broken into while I was at work. Nothing violent, they just took a laptop and some cash, but it rattled me enough that I bought one of those cheap little Wi-Fi security cameras, the kind that sends a motion alert to your phone. I set it up I set it up on a shelf in my living room, pointed at the front door, so if anyone ever came in again, I'd have to find it on the video. For the first couple of weeks, it was normal. It would ping me when I got home, ping me when I left, occasionally catch a car's headlights sweeping across the wall. Boring, but exactly what I wanted. Then one morning, I woke up to a motion alert that had come in at 3:14 in the morning, while I would been asleep. I opened the clip expecting a bug on the lens or a heater kicking in. Instead, the clip showed me I was standing in the middle of my living room in the dark, and the clothes had gone to bed, facing the blank wall, not moving but just standing there, and my back was to the camera. For the entire 90 seconds the clip recorded, I felt sick, but I landed on the obvious answer: sleepwalking. I'd never done it before, but people start sleepwalking. Stress does it, and I'd been stressed since the break-in. So I let it go. Except it kept happening every few nights. Another 314 alert, and each time I was doing something a little different and a little worse. One night I was standing at the front door with my hand flanked against it. One night I was sitting in the armchair, which I'd moved at some point to face the hallway to my bedroom. One night I opened the front door and stood there looking out into the corridor for 4 straight minutes before closing it and walking out of frame. I never remembered any of it, so I did the rational thing, the thing I'm proud of even now. I bought a second camera and put it in my bedroom, pointed at my own bed, so I could prove to myself that I was getting up, that I was the one doing these things. The next 314 alert came 2 nights later. Both cameras recorded at the same time. I watched the bedroom clip first, and in that bedroom clip, I am in my bed, asleep on my side. The blanket rising and falling on its own, and I'm not moving, all 90 seconds. Then I watched the living room clip, time stamped the same minute, the same night, and the living room clip I am standing in the dark, facing the wall at the same time. I watched them side by side probably 40 times. And same night, same time stamp, same night, same time stamp, me asleep in one room and standing in the other. And on the living room clip, for the first and only time, the thing that was standing there slowly turned around and it looked at me in the camera, into the lens, right at me watching it on my phone, and it smiled. It had my face. I moved out of that week. I threw both cameras in the dumpster 3 blocks away, and I know how this sounds, and I have spent 3 years trying to convince myself it was a glitch, a loop, a timestamp error, but I have never been able to explain why that thing was wearing my face, know exactly where the camera was. This one happened to me at a job I only kept for about 6 weeks, and it took the whole thing as a joke right up until that night that I didn't. I was between things, money was tight, and I took an overnight position as the lobby attendant for an old residential high-rise downtown. It was 12 stories, mostly older long-term tenants, the kind of building that's been there like 100 years and creaks like it. My job was simple: sit at the front desk from 11 at night to 7 in the morning, buzz people in, watch the cameras, call the super if something broke. On my first night, the guy training me, an older man who had done this shift for years and was finally retiring, handed me a laminated card with a list of rules on it, and he was completely serious about it in a way that made me uncomfortable. He said, "Memorize this and follow them exactly, and you will be fine." The list had, I think, 6 rules. Most of them I don't remember word for word anymore, but 4 of them I will never forget. Rule 2. Between 2 and 4 in the morning, do not leave the front desk for any reason. Rule 3. Sometimes the elevator will come down to the lobby on its own and the doors will open. Do not walk over to look inside. Just press the button to send it back and go back to your desk. Rule 4. A woman may come to the desk late at night and ask to use the phone. Let her, and do not stare at her, and do not, under any circumstances, comment on the way she looks. And Rule 6, the one he tapped twice with his finger while looked at me: if someone knocks on the lobby door after 3 in the morning and tells you they live here, do not let them in, not even if they have a key, not even if you have seen their faces in the building 100 times. When he told me this, I laughed. I actually laughed out loud, and he didn't, and that shut me up. For the first few weeks, None of it came up, and I decided the old man had just gone a little strange from too many night shifts. Then, one Tuesday around 2:30 in the morning, the elevator came down. I heard it, the whir of it descending. And I looked up and watched the floor numbers count down 12, 11, 10, all the way to L. And the doors slid open on an empty car. And I remembered the three. And my skin went cold, and I did not get up to look inside. I reached over and pressed the call button to send it back up. The doors closed. It went up to 12. 10 minutes later, it came down again, empty. I sent it back. This happened about like 4 times. And on the fourth time, just as the doors were closing, I heard from the inside a voice say, "Thank you." And I wasn't shocked. And then, at 3:15, someone knocked on the glass lobby door. I looked up and there was a man out there, an older tenant. I genuinely thought I recognized him from the building, in a bathrobe, looking cold and annoyed and completely ordinary. He held up a key and pointed at the lock and said, through the glass, "Come on, I live here. I just went out for air and door locked behind me." And every normal instinct I had told me to let the poor guy in. But I thought about Rule 6, and the guy about it, where the old man tapped it twice, and I told him through the glass that I wasn't allowed to open the door after 3, and that he'd been have to wait, and his ordinary annoyed face didn't really change. But he stopped blinking. He stood there, holding that key, not blinking, staring at me for exactly 4 hours until the rest of my shift. Not moving, not knocking again, just standing at the glass with the key in his hands, watching me, until the sky started getting light, and then he wasn't there anymore. I finished out the week and I quit, and the only thing I ever looked up after was whether anything had happened in that building. It turned out that years earlier, a lobby attendant on the night shift had let a man in after 3 because the man had a key and said he lived there. But he didn't. I leave it here. If you made it all the way to the end, please, I need you to hit that like button and subscribe button and comment to help me and support the channel. And thank you very much.